Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Sadguru Charanarvindabhyam Namaha. Brahma Sutras Chapter 3 Pada 2 Sandhyadikaranam Sandhye Srishtihi Ahahi Nirmataram Chayekem Putradayascha Maya matram tu katsyena anabhishvyakta swarupatvat. So in the last class, we were seeing this sutra, the third sutra of the second pada of chapter 3, the 321st running Brahma Sutra. And we said Shankaracharya has elaborated further because he has not replied the Purvapakshi's arguments. He has only given his argument to say that Swapna is unreal, but he has not refuted Purvapakshi's argument, especially the quotation he gave from Kathopanishad. And what was that quotation? Ya yesha supteshu jagarti kamam purusho nirmimanaha tadeva shukram tad brahma tadeva amritam uchyate. Wherein it is said that Ishvara is the creator of Swapna, dream. So what is Vyasa's opinion? Ishvara creates dream or Jiva creates dream? Vyasacharya gives his reasons that Swapna Prapancha is Pratibhasika. Pratibhasika is unreal. Now Shankaracharya negates that Swapna Prapancha is real as stated by the Purvapakshi. Purvapakshi says it is real. He bases his argument on the Kathopanishad quotation that we just read. And now the question is whether Swapna Prapancha is creation of the Jiva, individual, or of Paramatma. And if it is of the human, if it is of the creation of Paramatma, then it should be real. And if it is the creation of Jivatma, it will be Pradibhasikam and it will be unreal. So the first two lines of the Kathopanishad mantra that says, Ya yesha supteshu jagarti kamam purushaha nirmimanaha. So this purusha produces objects in dream, nirmimanaha. And the one question is, what is the meaning of the words yeshaha and purushaha? Unfortunately, yesha purushaha is a vague as sahahi karta. We saw sahahi karta in the last class also from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 4th chapter, 3rd section. 10th mantra. Both are pronouns, and to which the pronoun relates to, that is our question. It is clearly said that it is Brahman, Tad Brahma in the next line. Therefore, Yesha Purushaha must mean the Paramatma only. Therefore, you should translate Yesha Paramatma Supteshu Kamam Nirmanaha Asti. This is the powerful argument of the Purvapakshi. And Shankaracharya says, no. And he disagrees with this interpretation, and he says the very purpose of the mantra and all Upanishads is what? Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyam. And in every Mahavakyam, there must be Jivatma part and Paramatma part. And in the Tattvamasi Mahavakyam also, there is Jivatma part indicated by the Tvam Pada, and Paramatma part indicated by the Tat Pada, and the Asi that indicates Aikyam. So Kathopanishad mantra also is a Mahavakyam, and it also should have Jivatma Paramatma part. And the first two lines, they talk about Jivatma part only to introduce the Aikyam. And this is going to be equated to Paramatma later. So Yesha Purushaha refers to Jivatma only as part of Mahavakyam. Somebody's thing is still, Balakrishna's phone is still, microphone is on. Please turn it off. So Yesha Purushaha refers to Jivatma only as part of Mahavakyam teaching. For this we have several support also. The pronoun Yeshaha refers to something close by. And Paramatma is generally referred to be as what? Not that, not that, not that, not that. So Yesha the pronoun Yeshaha is the closer Jivatma, and not only that, there is a word Supteshu. And when all the organs are resolved in dream, we deal with Jivatma only, and Shastra does not study the avasthas of Paramatma. Paramatma has no avasthas. Therefore, Supteshu, because it's an avastha. Supteshu refers to Jivatma, Yeshaha refers to Jivatma only. And because of these reasons, Jivatma alone is the creator of Swapna Prapancha. And the second two lines, they deal with Paramatma only to reveal the Aikyam. That is why the pronoun is also different. Yeshaha pronoun is dropped, and the Tat pronoun is brought up. So, Yeshaha Supteshu Jagarti Kamam Purusho Nirmimanaha. But the next one is Tadeva Shukram Tad Brahma. Tadeva Amritam Uchyate. So Tad Brahma, Yesha Jivatma is Tad Paramatma. And therefore the Aikyam is also related. Therefore Yeshaha Purushaha refers to Jivatma, and Jivatma alone creates Swapna Prapancha. Therefore in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad also, the 4th chapter, 3rd section, 10th mantra, Sahahi Kartha, that we read in the last class, it also should refer to the Vekar Jivatma only. Then Shankaracharya argues, if this argument has not convinced you, I have another Brihadaranyaka mantra also that very clearly states that Jivatma alone creates Swapna. And that will stop all further arguments. And that is from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad 4th chapter, 3rd section, 9th mantra, which says, Sa yatra prasvapitim asya lokasya sarvavato matram apadaya swayam vihatyam swayam nirmayam swena bhasa swena jyotisha prasvapitim atrayam purushaham swayam jyotir bhavati. And what this mantra conveys? When the jiva goes to sleep, certainly it does not refer to Paramatma. Paramatma never goes to sleep. Jiva takes the memories from Jagrat Prapancha in the form of vasanas. God does not create, but Jiva himself, out of his own or her own vasanas, creates his or their own Swapna Prapancha. And this is a crucial mantra of Swayam Jyoti Brahmana. Actually, we discussed this elaborately when we discussed Brihadaranyaka, Swayam Jyoti Brahmanam. And then comes the further question, how can Jivatma create a Swapna Prapancha in dream? One reason is, it is not possible because all organs of Jivatma are resolved in Swapna. When all instruments are resolved, how you say Jiva creates Swapna Prapancha? And Shankaracharya says, do not take everything in the literal sense. It is only the vasanas thrown out in the form of Swapna Padarthas. It is not creation as creation. It is memory projection only. And the question now is, who projects the memory? If it is Jiva, he can happily project wonderful memory. How do you say Jiva is the creator? Because last class also somebody said, the dreams can be all pleasant dreams, but all kinds of dreams come. So how do you say Jiva is the creator? If so, he must have freedom to create whatever he wants. That means Jiva has no freedom to create his own Swapna Prapancha. That is true. The dream world is created by the Punya and Papa. And that is why we say some of the Prarabdha Karma also is exhausted by Punya Papam in Swapna. And then the question comes, if Swapna Prapancha is Karma Phala, then Ishvara must create it alone. And how do you say Jiva is the creator? Because Ishvara only is Karma Phala Dhata. Shankaracharya says, even though the vasanas are selectively done based on Punya Papas, it is done under the supervision of Ishvara. And then again, the Karta of Punya Papa is Jiva only. Of course, backed by Ishvara, all right, all the way. But because the Punya Papa is done by Jiva, we conclude Jiva is indirectly the creator of his own Punya Papas and also the Swapna Prapancha ultimately. And Shankaracharya enters actually into another discussion also. Here, another Purva Pakshi comes with a peculiar argument. And he says that Swapna Prapancha is real. And he says it's not a mental projection. And he gives a totally different reason also. The previous Purva Pakshi, what did he say? He gave a reason that Ishvara creates a Swapna Prapancha and therefore it is real. It is a freshly created new world, specially designed for you. Ishvara creates off and on and withdraws it also. That is his theory. Whereas the second Purva Pakshi, he comes and he says, no, it is not like that. During Swapna, Jivatma leaves the physical body, keeping a thin thread of connection through prana. Like, in Tamil we say kudu vittu kudu payaradu of yogis, parakaya pravesha and all that thing. The people talk about it. They have the capacity to drop one body and occupy another body. So even Shankara's biography also, they tell such things. We don't know the true or not, but those things are documented. Similarly, this Purvapakshi argues it is not great yogic power. Everyone does. Everyone does. During dream, the Jivatma with the Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas and all that, he goes out, and outside what Prapancha is there? Outside Jagrat Prapancha is there, which is not created by Ishvara now. But it has been already created by Ishvara long before. It is not a fresh creation for this Jiva to enjoy during dream. It is already there. So it is not a current creation, but it is a past creation, which is already existing. And it is Satyam. And that Satya Prapancha, this Jivatma goes and experiences during dream. So if you dream, for example, Badrinath, what has happened? You have left the physical body and gone to Badrinath. See how nice Badrinath is. And what darshanam you have? The real Badrinath only in Jagrata Avastha. And then you come back and occupy this body and then wake up. It looks funny, but it is their view. And the most interesting thing is, this Purvapakshi also has got a Shruti Pramanam for that. He quotes another Brihadaranyaka mantra, 4th chapter, 3rd section, 12th mantra, and that says, Pranena Rakshan Avaram Kulayam Bahishkulayat Amritascharitvam Sayiyate Amrito Yatra Kamam Hiranmaya Purushaha Ekahamsaha. So in the second half of this, that's not relevant to us. It only refers to the Hiranmaya Purushaha, the effulgent Jiva. And what does he do at the time of Swapna dream? Bahihi Kulayat Charitva. Kulaya means Stula Shariram here, the gross body, physical body. This is elaborately analyzed in actually a text called Vichara Sagara of Nischala Dasa. It's a very Hindi version, supposed to be very, very, very nice, great work. Vichara Sagara. So this Jivatma, Kulayat Bahihi Charitva. He leaves the body and travels. Then we will wonder, if the Jiva leaves the body, it means it is dead body. Because the Jiva leaves the body, body should be a dead body. Maybe by the time he comes back, after all his to Badrinath and all those places, the relatives and the friends, they all might have thought this guy is really gone. And the physical body might have already disappeared when he comes back. Therefore, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Pranena Rakshan. The pranas are kept in the body to take care of the body. And the Jivatma experiences, that's why I said a thin thread of prana. And the Jivatma experiences a real Jagrat Prapancha by going out of this body. This is the second Purvapakshi. And for this, Shankaracharya gives several reasons. And we will talk about 5 of them. And the first reason Shankaracharya gives is Vishamvadaha. When we experience certain places in dream, that experience does not completely tally with what actually exists there. For example, if you are really going to Kashi, the dream Kashi experience and the real Kashi experience of people in Jagrata Avastha do not tally. For example, what you saw in north, maybe in south, what you saw in west, maybe in east, so many things can be changes, could be there. So this is called discordance. That should not be there if the same things are experienced in Jagrata Avastha and Swapna Avastha. This is called Vishamvadaha, incongruity. And the second reason he gives is, sometimes we get up in the middle, let us say. We get up, we are dreaming something, we get up in the middle. For example, when we are in Badrinath, we can take Badrinath example. Just as the Abhishekam is going on, Badrinarayana Abhishekam is going on, one may get up in the dream. Naturally, the Jivatma has no time to come back to this body. And so where should the Jivatma wake up? In Badrinath only. But we find in between, these are all very strange arguments, but we find that in between the Jivatma wakes up, and when he wakes up, he is not in Badrinath, but he is at his own place where he sleeps. Actually, Gaudabadacharya, he says in his Mandukya Karikam, Pratibuddhascha vai sarvaha tasmin deshe na vidyate. This is the second reason. Waking up, it is different. And the third reason Shankaracharya gives is based on another Brihadaranyaka Upanishad Vakyam from the second chapter, first section, 18th mantra, where I will just only say the relevant part only. Saham yatraitat swapnyaya charati, which very clearly says during dream, Jivatma is within the nadis of the body. Nadis are in thousands, and it moves within the body only. And the same mantra also says, Swe sharire yata kamam parivartate. Swe sharire, within one's own shariram, one's own body itself, the Jivatma moves about. Swe sharire, which very clearly says that during dream, the Jivatma does not go out. And the fourth is what Purvapakshi's argument is slowly, everything is negated. Then the fourth reason Shankaracharya gives is, if Jivatma is experiencing only the same Jagrat Prapancha, then you cannot explain the expression Sahi Karta. We already saw that expression. Because according to the second Purvapakshi, there is no creation of Swapna Prapancha. Why? Because Jiva experiences the same Jagrat Prapancha by going out. He goes out. Therefore, where is the question of creating a Swapna Prapancha? Therefore, na tatra rata, na rata yoga, na pantano bhavanti, ata ratan rata yogan pataha srijate. Na tatra ananda mudaha pramoda bhavanti, ata ananda mudaha prabudaha srijate. They are all created. Na tatra veshantaha pushkarinyaha sravantyaha bhavanti, ata veshantan pushkarinihi sravantihi srijate sahi karta. We saw this quotation also earlier. All these will be meaningless. Srijate means created. Therefore, the fourth argument is Sahi Karta in Brihadaranyaka Mantra, 4th chapter, will be contradicted also. And then the fifth point Shankaracharya gives is, it's not an argument, how to explain the Purvapaksha's quotation. It's an interpretation. That is 4.3.12 of Brihadaranyaka, which is what is that? Pranena Rakshan Avaram Kulayam Bahishkulayat Amrutascharitvam Sayiyate Amruto Yatra Kamam Hiranmaya Purushaka Ekahamsaha. That was the mantra we just read. And this mantra says, Jivatma goes out of the body. How do you explain this? Bahishkulayat Charitva. This is the Purvapakshi argument. And Shankaracharya says, that does not mean physically going out of the body. But the mantra says, giving up the abhimana with the stula sharira. During swapna, I transcend my physical body, I disown my physical personality, and that is why I do not feel the presence of my body also during swapna. And this abhimana tyagaha, the identification, the leaving of the identification with the body, physical body, something like the upasamharana, is called bahihi kulaya charana. There is no actual moving out at all. And there are some further arguments also given elsewhere. They occur in, again, Vicharasagara, that also discusses all of them. So one argument that he gives is, if prana is going to be kept in the body and sense organs, they travel out, who will energize the sense organs? Because sense organs cannot function by themselves. We saw in Brahma Sutra itself, all sense organs get their energy from prana only. Therefore, leaving prana alone, you cannot say sense organs go out. Therefore, Bahishkulaya is Aupacharikam, figurative only. Therefore, what are the conclusions? First point is, Swapna Prapancha is not created by Ishvara. Second point is, Jivatma does not go out during Swapna to experience the Jagrat Prapancha. And the final point is, therefore, Jivatma, out of one's own Punya Papa, out of one's own Vasanas, projects an unreal universe in dream and also exhausts one's Punya Papa. Therefore, Swapna Prapancha is Pratibhasikam, it is unreal. These are the extra Bhashyam topics of Adi Shankaracharya. Now let us go to the next sutra. Because I did not discuss this portion in the last class, I wanted to get this Bhashyam topic of Shankaracharya. We will go to the next sutra. Suchakaschahi shrutehe achakshate cha tadvidaha. Suchakaschahi shrutehe achakshate cha tadvidaha. Fourth Sutra, second Pada, third chapter, 322nd running Brahma Sutra. First, let us do the general analysis of this Sutra. Here, a possible question from Purvapakshi is answered. And the question itself is not there, but the answer is given. So we can find out in further question. We can supply the question. It is said in both Vedas and other Shastras also, they are called Swapna Shastras or Suchaka Shastra. Suchaka means indicators. Even though there are people, some psychologists, they have written a lot of books on how to interpret dreams. Swamiji jokingly says, there are some people who are so dedicated to dream that they leave their waking state almost. For them, dream becomes more real than even waking. Whatever sciences are prevalent today, they all have some basis or other in our scriptures. Whether they call it Reiki or pranic healing, solar therapy, so many are there. Anything. You find some hint in Shastras. Even Swapna has indicators of future events. We have references in the Shastra for that. And some of the references Shankaracharya quotes, one is from Chandogya Upanishad, 5th chapter, 2nd section, 8th mantra, and another one is Aitreya Aranyakam, 3rd chapter, 2nd section, 4th mantra, in the Vedic portion. And Chandogya Upanishad says, Yada karmasu kamyeshu striyam swapneshu pashyanti samriddhim tatra janiyat tasmin swapna nidarshane. Very interesting mantra. Yada karmasu kamyeshu striyam swapneshu pashyanti samriddhim tatra janiyat tasmin swapna nidarshane. When a person does a ritual, whatever yaga, whatever it is, a kamya karma he does, and he doesn't know whether it will work or not. He is now doing the kamya karma expecting some return. He doesn't know whether it works or not. He is now doing. And if he is anxious to know, then the Veda gives a clue. Striyam swapneshu pashyati. If a person sees a woman, a lady in a dream, samriddhim tatra janiyat. Success of the karma, the kamya karma, that is assured. Thus means swapna nidarshane. This is one Swapna Shastra that says this. So if a person desirous of some particular result is doing a big karma, and during the conduct of the karma, when he sleeps, if he gets this Swapna where he sees a stree, then it will be successful. That is one Swapna Darshana, one Shastra. And there is another, this is a good one. And there is another terrible one also in the Aitreya Aranyakam that I told them just now. It says, Purusham Krishnam Krishna Dantam Pashyati Sayenam Hanti. Purusham Krishnam Krishna Dantam Pashyati Sayenam Hanti. Suppose in Swapna, in dream, if one sees a Krishna Purushaha, a dark person with black teeth, Krishna Dantam. If he sees such a Swapna, a dark person with black teeth and all, Sayenam Hanti, it is an indication that he would die soon. Thus, there are Veda mantras which indicate positive and negative results. This is Veda Pramana. Then Shankaracharya gives a Swapna Shastra Pramana also, which is not Veda, but an exclusive science called Swapna Shastra. People have spent a lot of time in interpreting dreams. They all come under Smriti Granthas. And there it is said, Kunjara Arohanadini Danyani Karayanadini Adhanyani. So, Kunjara Arohanadini Dhanyani Karayanadini Adhanyani. Kunjara Arohana means if you dream that you yourself are seated on an elephant, Dhanyani, that indicates that you will get lot of money. Then Karayanadini, if a person dreams as if he is traveling on a donkey, then Adhanyani, one will lose all the money, all those wealth and all that things. That's what Suprashastram says. Actually, in Ramayana also, in the Trijata's dream, she dreamt of Ravana mounted on a donkey and going and all that. So in short, the Purvapakshi quotes these Shastrams and says, if Swapna experience can reveal future events, Swapna cannot be unreal. How can unreal can reveal a real is the question of Purvapakshi. Because these Shastras, they say that the unreal Swapna can reveal real events. In which avastha? In future real Jagrata avastha, not in Swapna avastha. In future real Jagrata avastha. Therefore, Purvapakshi says Swapna must be real only. Only then it can reveal the real future events. This is Purvapakshi. Then what is Siddhanta? Siddhanta says even unreal can reveal the real. Even unreal can reveal the real. Mithya swapnaha api suchakaha bhavati. Even an unreal dream, mithya swapna, can reveal relative reality. Iti shrutehe. From Shruti Pramanam, it is there. Yukti Pramanam, Anubhava Pramanam. We have all of them for that. We show that unreal can reveal the real through even day-to-day experience. For example, in fact, unreal alone can reveal, logically also, only the unreal can reveal the real Brahman. Why? Since real Brahman is only one. If real Brahman is to be revealed by any other real thing, then there should be two real things. But according to Vedanta, real thing is only one. Therefore, if real Brahman has to be revealed by something, it should be definitely not of equal reality, but should be less real only, because reality, absolute reality is only one. Then Purvapakshi asks, then whether Guru, Shastra, they are all Paramarthika Satyam or Mithya? He is asking all these fundamental questions. Are you now saying Guru is Mithya, Shastram is Mithya? They are not Paramarthika Satyam. What are they? Vedantins say Brahman alone is Satyam. Guru, Shastram, etc. are all Mithya only. Na mrityurna shanka dhame jati bedaha. Pita naiva me naiva mata na janma. Na bandhuhu na mitram. Guru naiva shishya. Chidananda rupaha shivoham shivoham. Then the Visishtadvaitin, they ask, how can Mithya Shastram and Mithya Guru reveal Satyam Brahman? If both are Mithya Shastram, Mithya Guru, you say everything is Mithya. How they can reveal the Satyam Brahman? How can unreal reveal the real Brahman? And Advaitin has got several answers to this question. And one answer we will see here. And Vyasacharya does not answer directly, but he hints the answer. The unreal can reveal the real is the statement. And there is no illogicality in it. We regularly experience it every day. And the first example is a mirror image. When you want to know, for example, whether there is a black patch or some scar or something in your face, what do? You stand in front of a mirror, and what you see is what? Your image. Pratibimba mukha. That's what you are seeing. And the reflected face. His reflected face is unreal. And with the help of the Pratibimba Mukham, reflected face, you know what is there in the real Bimba, that is the Mukham, that is yourself, your face. So you see the spot in the Pratibimba Mukham in the reflected image, and you wipe out your face, not the image's face in the mirror. So you saw only Mithya Pratibimba, that is unreal, and therefore Mithya can reveal Satyam also. And the second answer is a technical answer. So we have got, for example, all the alphabetical letters. And when you want to represent in script form, it will vary from language to language. The written letter is called in Sanskrit Rekakshara. And when you look at the Rekaksharam, you know each script has got a particular shape, purely because of our imagination. Each person or group choose a particular letter and call it differently. Alphabetical letters, they are superimposed, and the line itself is not a letter. And we have drawn a particular line, and we have superimposed, for example, the alphabet A on that letter. And the image in the letter, subjective letter, is only Mithya. It varies from script to script. Telugu script, it is different. Tamil script, Malayalam, English is different, all that. Even though Rekaksharam is Mithya, when you look at it, it reveals the Satyam Shabdaksharam. That is why in the Bhagavad Gita classes, all my classes also, different people have different textbooks in different languages. Even though letters are different, they really read Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. That's what they all read, the real Gita only. So therefore, transliterations may vary. They are all mithya, but it reveals satyam. So mithya can reveal satyam, and so dream is pratibhasikam, capable of indicating vyavaharika future, and this is the answer hinted in the sutra. Now let us see the word analysis of this sutra. The sutra is what? Suchakaschahi shrutehe achakshate cha tadvidaha. Cha means here, though unreal, we already said earlier, unreal, we discussed about it. This is a connection. And Suchakaha, we have to supply the dream, is the indicator. Suchaka means indicator, is the indicator of the future. He shrutehe, as it is understood from the Shruti statement. Tadvidaha cha. Who says this? The dream experts, they also say this. Achakshate, they say so. They affirm. This is the running meaning. Now let us see the significance of these words. Suchakaha. Suchakaha is a pointer or a revealer. Dream object and experiences are called Suchaka. Dream is revealer of the waker's future, even though it is unreal. So waker's future is indicated, is revealed through this Suchakam, this dream. It is revealer of that. And the letter, the cha, indicates even though it is unreal. So in spite of being unreal, Shrutehe, because of the Shruti Pramanam, two mantras mentioned earlier in the commentary also, which I just said. Tadvidaha. Tadvidaha, the dream experts. The Smriti Kartharaha. All those people who wrote the Smriti Granthas, Swapna Shastras, authors of Swapna Shastras. Achakshate. They also declare that the unreal dream can reveal the real future of the waker. So Veda also declares and Smriti also declares. Now let us go to the next sutra. Parabhidhyanatu tirohitam tato hyasya bandha viparyayav. Parabhidhyanatu tirohitam tato hyasya bandha viparyayav. This is the fifth sutra, second section, third pada, third chapter, 323rd running Brahma Sutra. And Shankaracharya and many other commentators, they give a particular vyakhyana, explanation, commentary. And there is one other person who wrote a commentary called Advaita Manjari on Brahma Sutra itself. This Brahma Sutra Vritti with Advaita Manjari. It's a text. Actually, a student of Sriman Shankar, Chaukamba Publications, they brought this book out. And the commentary gives slightly different vyakhyana meaning also. And that seems kind of simpler version, easy for communication and to follow. So people use it also from that. And the word meaning slightly changes. And in this sutra, Vyasacharya answers a possible doubt. And this is based on what we have seen till now. And we saw in the previous sutra that Jagrat Prapancha is real or relatively real because it is Ishvara Shrishti. And then we argued by analyzing Kathopanishad mantra that Swapna Prapancha is unreal, being Jiva Srishti, subjective projection. Ishvara Srishti is Satyam, relatively Satyam, Vyavaharika Satyam. And you talk of superiority of Ishvara, the creator of real world, while Jiva can create only an unreal imaginary world. Because Jiva is Alpagyaha, Alpasaktiman, all that thing we know. So Ishvara Srishti is real because Ishvara is Sarvashaktiman and he creates Vyavaharika Prapancha. But Manushya is Alpagyaha and he can create only an unreal world lasting only for a few minutes of dream. So through all these things, you focus on Swapna Prapancham and Jagrat Prapancham, and in this process, you have indirectly established Ishvara is superior and Jiva is inferior. Now the Purvapakshi's argument is what? If Ishvara is superior and Jiva is inferior, how can you talk about Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam? He says, therefore, Jivatma and Paramatma are different. Jivatma and Paramatma Aikyam is not possible. And therefore, Mahavakyam should not be taken as Pramana-Vakyam. He will shake the very foundation. And Mahavakyam is not Mahavakyam for Visishtadvaitins and Dvaitins. Tattvamasi gives only nice feeling, they say. How can Jivatma and Paramatma Aikyam that is possible when their creative powers are different? This question may be asked, and Vyasacharya answers that in this sutra. The answer is what? Really speaking, Jivatma is as great as Paramatma, and both are the same only. This is the truth. Jivatma becomes inferior only because of Anatma Abhimana, or wrong identification with the body, and the consequent extravertedness, Mamakara, Ahankara, they make the Jiva inferior. And minus this Mahankara and Mamakara and Ahankara, these two, Jivatma is identical with Paramatma only. Mamakara is, this is my house, this is my people, these are all my belongings, all that feeling is Mamakara. I identify with my own body-mind complex that produces Ahankara. And this is the answer given by these two sutras. Now let us see the running meaning of this sutra. Parabidhyanatu tirohitam tato hyasyam bandha viparyaya. That is the sutra. So tirohitam too. The nature of what? The nature of jiva we have to supply is covered. Parabidhyanam means due to identification with the external world. This refers to mamakara. And bandha viparyaya, misconception and bondage. Bandha is bondage, misconception, viparya. Asya, of this jivatma, tatahahi. They are indeed because of that. This is the running meaning. Now let us see the significance of all these words. Paravidhyanat means absorption or involvement. Abhidhyana. Abhimana of the anatma prapancha. Identification with the anatma prapancha and anatma body-mind complex. Tu means indeed. It is not intrinsic difference. It is only an incidental difference from Paramatma. Intrinsically, they are same. Incidentally, because of the medium, there are differences. Tirohitam means concealed, covered, unknown. It's veiled. And Jivatma, oneness with Paramatma, is concealed. What is concealed? The oneness, the aikyam of Jivatma and Paramatma is concealed or veiled or covered because of what? Mamakara. Tatahahi, because of that concealment alone, or because of that reason alone, that is the cause of all the problems. Even though he is creator, he has become a creature because of this veil, this tirobhavam. For Bhagavan, there are 5 karmas they have said. Srishti, Sthiti, Layam, Tirobhavam and Anugraham. This covering the truth as it is. And with Ishvara Anugraham only, one can try to realize also the truth. So even though this Jiva, he is creator, he has become a creature because of this covering. And the problem is not with Paramatma, and it is the problem of Jivatma only. Viparyayaha, misconception, misidentification. It is wrong self-conclusion about myself. And I have come away from Lord. All these misconceptions are called Viparyayaha. Bandhaha means every misconception is a bunch of problems. Now let us go to the next sutra, which talks about Ahankara. So this sutra talked about Mamakara, and the next bandham is Ahankara. That is going to be told in the next sutra we will read. Deha yogatva saha api. Deha yogatva saha api. This is the 6th sutra, 2nd pada, 3rd chapter, 324th running Brahma Sutra. And the sutra, the previous sutra, is amplified here. The question is what? How the mamakara comes. Mamakara is absorption in the family, all my belongings, possessions, and it is the product of Ahankara. Mamakara is the product of Ahankara. Ahankara is Deha Abhimana, which will lead to Putra Abhimana, Putri Abhimana, Patni Abhimana, all of those. So you will find Abhimana spread, and it begins with what? I am the body notion. I am connected to my mother with the physical body. Without physical body, I have no connection of the body. Not even Sukshma Shariram. Ahankara causes Mamakara, and both cause separation, and the separation causes all these things. However, Vedas, what they say? Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam. Now we will see the word analysis. Deha Yogadva Saha Api. Deha Yogadva Saha Api. Saha Api. It is due to identification with the body. Deha Yogaha means Abhimanaha, identification. And this is different with respect to Parabhidhyana. This is Deha Abhimana. Parabhidhyana is different. That's what was said in the previous sloka. There it is Prapancha Abhimanam, and here it is Deha Abhimana. Prapancha Abhimanam is Mamakara, and Deha Abhimanam is Ahankara. Api. Api indicates the twofold Abhimanas, that and this. Saha, that separation. And the problems put together is called Samsaraha. And this indicates separation from Lord, and it indicates misconception, bondage. And these three put together is called Samsara. Misconception, bondage, and all that things. Separation, everything, the body, Abhimana, Mamakara, all together. Mamakara, Ahankara, and all this. And Ajnana Kale, at the time of Ajnanam, there are seemingly different. They are seemingly different. And Jnana Kale, at the time of wisdom, they are factually the same. So from the Jnani's angle, Shastra talks about Aikyam. Vyavaharika Drishtya, we talk of difference. So in the context of dream, Aikyam is not kept in mind. And therefore I say superior Paramatma takes superior waking and inferior Jivatma takes inferior dream. And all this is viewed from Vyavaharika Drishti, not from Paramatmika Drishti. Do not take Mahavakyam in this context and get confused. That is what Vedantin tells to others. With this, the sixth Adhikaranam is also over. Now let us go to the next topic. So with the completion of the sixth sutra, we have completed the first Adhikaranam of the second pada of the third chapter, called Sandhya Adhikaranam. And as we said in the introduction, this pada is meant for Tvampada Vichara, analysis of Jivatma as a preparation for Mahavakya Vichara Tattvamasi. In the introduction of this chapter itself, I taught. Tvampada Vichara is sadhana for Mahavakya Vichara, which is the sadhana for Jnanam and Moksha. So the Jivatma is associated with Avastatraya, the three Avastas, Avastatraya Visishtaha. And after analysis, we established that it is not associated with Avastatraya, and it is the illuminator of Avastatraya. It is not associated with Avastatraya, but it is the illuminator of the Avastatraya. Being an illuminator, it is free from Avastatraya. It is Asanga Atma. When we see it is Avastha, it as Avastatraya Visishtaha, it is Tvampada Vicharartha. And when you say that there is no relationship with that, then it is the Lakshyartha. So Sanga Sahita Atma is Vachyartha, Sanga Rahita Atma is Lakshyartha. When you associate with Avastatrayas, it is Sanga Sahita Atma, that is Vachyartha. Sanga Rahita Atma is Lakshyartha. So as part of that, Swapna was analyzed in this Adhikaranam, and it was called by the name Sandhya. Sandhya Sthanam and all Sandhyam, Tritiya Sthanam, all that thing we saw earlier. Sandhyam Tritiya Sthanam means Swapna. And Swapna is Pratibhasika Satyam. And it is less real than Jagrat Prapancha. And Vyasacharya sees Jagrat Swapna as two orders of reality. And Jagrat is higher Mithya. Swapna is lower Mithya. I told you that day the example of an intelligent liar and a foolish liar. Some people argue Jagrat also is Pratibhasika. But we say Jagrat is Vyavaharika Mithya. And Swapna Prapancha is Pratibhasika Mithya. By showing Swapna is Mithya, Vyasacharya establishes Jivatma cannot have association with Mithya Prapancha. By showing Swapna is Mithya, Vyasacharya establishes Jivatma cannot have association with Mithya Swapna. How can I be related to unreal thing? Paramarthika Satyam. Therefore, Atma is Asanga Chaitanyam. So, through Swapna Vichara, Jivatma is revealed as Asanga Chaitanya by inquiring into the dream Prapancha. From this, we also can extend to other two avasthas, namely Jagrada Avastha and Sushupti Avastha also. By extension, we say Atma is not associated with the other two avasthas also. Jivatma is avasthatraya sambandha rahitaha. It has no sambandha at all with all the three avasthas. Even though we dealt with Swapna Avastha so far, but the other two avasthas also we can say. And once I claim I am avasthatraya sambandha rahitaha, then it is easily claimed Aham Brahma Asmi. Once I claim I am avasthatraya sambandha rahitaha, then it is easy to claim Aham Brahmasmi. So whenever you feel I am uncomfortable with Mahavakyam, what is the reason to be unhappy? Miserable, I cannot be happy. I think of me like that. You connect yourself with the Jagrada Avastha misery or Swapna Avastha misery, and you detach from Avastha, Aikyam is comfortable. When you are associated with all these avasthas, Jagrada Avastha, Swapna Avastha, all those things, then you have problem. Once you detach from avasthas, Aikyam is comfortable. Jivatma Paramatma Aikyam is comfortable. Therefore, the essence of this adhikarana is what? Avasthatraya sambandha rahitaha jivatma. Now let us go to the next adhikarana. Tat abhava adhikarana. This is the second topic of this particular chapter. Tat abhavo nadishu tat shrutehe atmani cha. Tad abhavam nadishu tat shrutehe atmani cha. 7th Sutra, 2nd Pada, 3rd chapter, 325th running Brahma Sutra. So the state of dreamless sleep is now discussed. That state of dreamless sleep, Sushupti. I will give you first the general introduction to this adhikaranam with 2 sutras. And in this adhikaranam, Vyasacharya analyzes Sushupti Avastha. And with respect to Sushupti Avastha, there are some controversies regarding the Shruti Vakyams as to where the Jivatma is located in Sushupti. There is a controversy because different Upanishads give different statements. There is a Chandogya Upanishad statement from the 8th chapter, 6th section, 3rd mantras. Tad yatra etat suptaha samastaham samprasannaham swapnam na vijanati asu tada nadishu srupto bhavati tamna kaschana papma sprushati tejasahi tada sampanno bhavati. Tada nadishu srupto bhavati. At the time of sleep, in the nadis, the Jivatma abides or remains. This mantra says nadis is ashraya for the Jivatma. And there is another mantra in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that is the 2nd chapter, 1st section, 19th mantra. It says, Atham yada sushupto bhavati yada na kasya chana vedam hita nama nadyaham dvasaptatihi sahasrani kridayat puritatam abhipratishthante tabihim pratyavasripyam puritate shete. Sageta Kumaro va Maharajo va Mahabrahmano va Atignim Anandasya Gatvam Shayitam Evameva Yesha Yetat Shete. So Puritati Shete, these are 2 words we are focusing. Puritat, that is the thin membrane that covers the Hridayam, the heart. Jivatma resides or lies. Puritat becomes Ashraya. That thing becomes the Ashraya for Jivatma in Sushupti. Jivatma lies there. And there is another mantra also in Brihadaranyaka, 2nd chapter, 1st section, 17th mantra. It says, Yaham Yeshontar Kridaya Akashas Tasmin Chete. Jivatma stays within the space in the heart. And according to this mantra, Kridaya Akasha is Ashraya of Jivatma. And there is a 4th mantra also from Chandogya, 6th chapter, 8th section, Uddalaka and Aruni, that conversation. Uddalako Haruni Shwataketum Putramu Vacham Swapnantam me Somya Vijanihi iti Yatraitat Purushaham Swapiti Namam Sata Somyam Tada Sampanno Bhavati Somapito Bhavati Tasma Dhenagam Swapiti Ityachakshate Swamhi Apito Bhavati Sata Somya Tada Sampannaha Bhavati. At the time of sleep, Jivatma merges into Sad Brahma. Jivatma dissolves into Sad Brahman. That means Brahman or Paramatma becomes the Ashraya. So in each quotation, I'm giving different places as location, as the support. 4 Ashrayas are mentioned in Sushupti, and which one is correct? That is our question. And if you take one Shruti Vakyam as correct, the other Shruti Vakyam will become wrong. One can have only one location. Many locations are not possible. So if you take one location, the other statements will become falsified. Sleeping is easy, but to find out the location of sleep is very difficult. Yeah, there are so many quotations. And the Purvapakshi says, we cannot accept all the 4 at different times. Jivatma thinks where to go today. Maybe a choice of Jivatma. This is called Vikalpartaha. It is Jivatma's choice, he says. In any one of the 4, during each Sushupti Avastha, I can choose and go. So this is the general introduction of this Adhikarana. Now let us enter into the first sutra. Here Vyasacharya says, Jivatma primarily has to reside in Paramatma only because of various reasons. He gives a few reasons. During Sushupti, Jivatma loses his individuality, and it is provided by our experience. Father is not father, mother is not mother. That we lose individuality, that is clear during Sushupti. That means resolution of Jivatma, it is called Layaha also. Then we have to apply a general rule. Whenever a thing resolves, it should resolve into the Karanam, which is its nature. Karane or Swarupe Layaha. Karanam is Swarupa, and Swarupam is Karanam. Ornament is to resolve in gold because gold is the Karanam. Similarly, waves have to resolve into water because water is Karanam. So all Jivatmas are born out of Paramatma only, and Paramatma is the Karanam, and therefore Jivatma has to resolve into Paramatma only. So the Shruti statements, they also prove all this. During Sushupti, Jivatma resolves all the Punya Papam. Brihadaranyaka, 4th chapter, 3rd section, 22nd mantra. Atra Pita Apita Bhavati, Mata Amata, Lokaha Alokaha, Devaha Adevaha, Veda Aveda, Atra Stenaha, Asteno Bhavati, Brunaha, Abrunaha, Chandalaha, Achandalaha, Polkasaha, Apolkasaha, Shramanaha, Ashramanaha, Tapasaha, Atapasaha, Ananvagatam Punyena, Ananvagatam Papena, Kirno Hi, Tada, Sarvan, Chokan, Hridayasya Bhavati. All are very strong statements. During sleep, Jivatma is not associated with Punya Papas. It is possible only if Jivatma merges into Paramatma. Because Paramatma is Punya Papa Rahitaha. Jiva is not, Paramatma is. So we can explain Punya Papa Atitatvam only if we accept Jivatma merges into Paramatma. Anywhere else Jivatma goes, it will be Punya Papa mixture only. Therefore, Jivatma has to merge into Paramatma essentially. And this is stated in several other places also. In Chandogya 8th chapter, 3rd section, 2nd mantra also. Ataye chasyeham jiva ye cha pretam ye chanya dicchanna labate sarvam tadatra gatva vindate atra hasyaite satyaha kamaha anrutabhidhanas tatyadapi hiranyanidyam nihitam akshetrajnaham upari sancharantonam vinde yurevam vireme imaha sarvaha praja aharhar gachyanta evam etam brahmalokam na vindati anrutena hi pratyudaha. All these mantras we have discussed in detail, so I don't go to discussions here. I only give a summary. So every day Jivatma merges into Brahman during Sushupti, but without knowing. It is like a person walking over a treasure house. Something treasure is hidden somewhere. He walks over there without knowing treasure is underneath. And again, Prashnopanishad also, there are other mantras here, 4th chapter, 4th section. Yeducha vasanihim swasa veda bahuti samam nayatiti sasamanaha manoha vava yajamanaha ishta palame odhanaha sayenam yajamanam aharahar brahmagamayati. Aharahar brahmagamayati is only important for us. Jivatma is taken to Brahman every day during Sushupti Avastha. Because of these reasons, Jivatma must be abiding in Paramatma only during Sushupti. And Shankaracharya, he goes one step further. In fact, even in other two states also, in the Jagrata Avastha and Swapna Avastha, in the Swapna Avastha also, Jivatma stays in Paramatma only, which is its Swarupam. Ornament resides in gold, even before ornaments are made. If everything abides in its Swarupam, all the time, why should Upanishad say Jivatma resides in Paramatma in Sushupti? Why should particularly say? No need. Sushupti is specified because in Sushupti alone, the notion of difference is dropped. Even though I am ever united with Paramatma, in Sushupti alone, I drop the notion of difference. While in Jagrat, I am one because of the notion there is seeming difference. In Jagrat, I know there is seeming difference. Whereas in Sushupti, the notion of difference is to be dropped. To indicate the absence of the notion, Sushupti is taken as the example. In fact, Jivatma stays in Paramatma in all states. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti. Sushupti is specified. It may create an idea also that there are difference. And once you say, for example, water is in the pot. Water is different, pot is different. Water is located and pot is the location. So the adai, adhe, all those relationships will come. And then I say, Jivatma resides in Paramatma. One thinks Jivatma lies over Paramatma, all kinds of imaginations. Though Shankaracharya says, Jivatma resides in Paramatma should be understood as what? Jivatma resides as Paramatma. The in should be understood as Paramatma. Paramatma Rupena Avadishtate. So having dropped the notion of limitation, Jivatma abides in Paramatma means Jivatma abides as Paramatma itself. That is why after Sushupti Prakriya, the Upanishad says Tattvamasi in Chandogya. We have seen these discussions. So you are abiding as Paramatma in Sushupti, therefore you are Paramatma only. You are in the real nature and so you are Paramatma. Then what about the four Shruti statements? Of the four Shruti statements, the third and fourth are no problem. 4 says Paramatma is Ashrayam, the Chandogya Upanishad 6th chapter 8th section, first mantra. And that fourth mantra says Paramatma is Ashrayam itself. And the third one relates to Hridaya Akasha, which is another name for Brahman. That also is given in the Upanishads. We have seen that. Therefore, 3 is no problem. 1 and 2, that is said Paramatma resides in Nadi. Among the 4 quotations we gave, 1 and 2 say Paramatma resides in Nadi, and Shankaracharya says that also should be added. You have to take all the 3 and you should do the Samuchaya. Jivatma is in Nadi, Jivatma is in the Puritatam, in Brahman, not Vikalpa. And do Samuchaya. It rests in all the 3. Now the questions comes, how can Brahman reside in all the 3? When you say it's all these 3 is correct, how can Brahman reside in all the 3? And Shankaracharya says, need not necessarily say, he gives an example and for example, a person sleeps in the house. You can say he sleeps in the house, he sleeps in the bedroom, he sleeps on the cot. So Samuchaya you do. So all the 3 can be equally correct. First, there are general locations. First one, and then there is specific location. The house, bedroom and all, there are general locations, but the cot is a specific location. So there is this Puritat, membrane acetylene covering this heart. In the Puritat and Nadi, that is enclosed consciousness. That is Brahman. We call that Avachanna Chaitanyam. So just like water is in the pot, that means water is the general location and water is located in space. That alone and space alone accommodates water. Water is in the space conditioned by the pot. Similarly, Jivatma is the consciousness which is conditioned by the Nadi and the Purita. Therefore, all the 3 locations are correct only. In the combination of the 3, one is specific and the other 3 are general locations. This is the answer given by Vyasacharya and commented by Shankaracharya. And now we will do the word analysis in the next class. Yo vedadau swaraprokto vedante cha pratishtitaha tasya prakritilīnasya parasya maheshwaraha purnamada purnamidam purnat purnamudachyate purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sri Krishna Namaste.